What about the decks, Matti?
Well, we're going to start off with Simon. We saw him draft this morning, but let's remind ourselves what his deck looks like. He loves it, and you know what? I love it too. This deck checks all the boxes. Curve, check. Signposts uncommon, well, there's Disturbing Mirth. Do we have some powerful rares? We sure do. 2 copies of Undead Sprinter. And there's a lot of removal to boot. This deck is fast, this deck is efficient, and it really came together. I know Simon and we were kind of sweating it there when he maybe lacked a second color, but that third pack brought it all together when he cemented himself in black-red. On the other side, taking a look at Chen's deck. Well, this is a nice Azorius deck. Once again, checking all the boxes. Signposts on commons, 2 copies of the Glimmer. Curve, definitely there. Removal, definitely. And then when you're looking for bomb rares, where a Port Oculus in this deck, not just a standard all-star, definitely doing some great work here, and have to mention Dissection Tools, one of the best cards in the format.
It's unreal.
So having access to both of those alongside a very solid deck means that this is going to be a really tough matchup for both players.
Which deck do you like better, though, Matti?
Which deck do I like better? The Azorius deck. Which deck do I think is going to win? Well, the one Simon Nielsen is playing.
Sure. Always a safe bet. All right, everybody, it's time for round 2 here at World Championship 30. I'm going to pass it on over to Ailey and Corey in the booth.
Thanks so much, Maria. We are super excited to jump into round number 2 of the draft action here at World Championship 30. Can you believe we've had 30
I can't
World
believe it.
Championships?
I can't believe it.
Corey Baumeister, I get your name right, alongside me, and we have the pleasure of watching the current reigning player of the year, Simon Nielsen, just doing Simon Nielsen things. It doesn't seem like he can lose, ever.
Yeah, just really can't lose. His draft deck looks awesome. Really hard to vote against Simon right now. He's just on an absolute tear.
On the other hand, Mingyang Chen playing the Azorius deck, which I must say, when I've drafted this format, I really like Azorius. All this eerie,
very good.
you know, pseudo constellation stuff happening in this archetype. Like, it's such a powerful archetype in this format. But you know what? He's got black-red, and black-red can do really dumb stuff.
Yeah, honestly, these are my 2 favorite archetypes to draft, and both players have very strong decks. Maybe when you're drafting at home, you see a little bit stronger decks. Well, that's because this is the World Championship. You know, you don't really get all these busted cards coming last pick, second to last pick kind of thing. It's a lot harder to fight for the cards you want.
For sure. Get things started off here. A room with a view here now for Mingyang Chen. So opening up the first of the rooms, gonna surveil, take a look, and chuck something away.
Yeah, and pretty strong hands for both players here. Both have a good chunk of things to do. Looks like we did have Simon on the mulligan to 6 there, but still very functional hands.
Underwater tunnel, a great way to get some things into the bin, and that's Mingyang Chen's, you know, game plan here.
Yeah.
Get as many things as you can into the bin, because unlike standard, there's not really a cool way to cheat Abhorrent Oculus into play.
Yeah, not in this deck. Really no way to reanimate it. Actually, there is the Surgical Suite that you can bring it back from the graveyard to the battlefield, but outside of that, really no way to do so. You just got to get the prerequisite amount of cards into your graveyard to cast the powerful Mythic.
Taking things off here now. We have our Escort. Pretty sticky critter, 2/4. You know, doesn't get removed all that easily, especially with the burn spells that you might expect from the red side of things. Black having an easier time getting rid of that card, but yeah, Simon Nielsen just turning things sideways and saying, all right, you deal with it.
Yeah, just a really nice aggressive start here from Simon. He has turned inside out here to be able to get rid of the creature on the opposing sides while continuing to keep your creatures. And this is great. Being able to put the Sprinter into the yard here, be able to get a Manifest, and if you can just bring it back right away here, which I do see the Mountain, this is just devastating here for Mingyang.
That is pretty rough. So getting extra value off of that pump spell, able to bring back the Undead Sprinter, and gonna get a counter on it too for his troubles. So
yeah,
as long as a non-zombie died, you are good to go.
Exactly. Checks the creature type, and yep, not a zombie. Comes back as a 3/3. What an incredible start here from Simon.
So if Surgical Suite brings it back, though, from the dead, is it a zombie then?
Yeah, it should be.
close to dead, not super dead though.
So Mingyang does have dissection tools in hand though, so next turn being able to just play this incredibly powerful creature to do some nice catch-up work is going to be great, but Simon is still putting on just a ton of pressure here.
Yeah.
Just drew a Trial of Agony, so no matter what, can deal with one of the creatures here, and then dissection tools that creature can't block, so we could definitely see a lightning fast game here already from Simon.
Oh, we certainly are. And, you know, he is just not taking his foot off of the gas at all.
He hasn't
so
the entire
nicely.
year.
He
or
hasn't,
for 2
no.
years,
Yeah,
really.
for 2 years,
Simon
yeah.
has just been dominating.
He's on a tear here, and Razorkin Needlehead is going to add even more insult to injury every time Chen draws now. He's gonna ding ya.
Yeah, Simon has a 14-4 draft record so far in this season, 15-4 now with winning this first round. Just an incredible record. And with Constructed, still doing okay. 69% win rate there already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Mingyang Chen doing his best, getting these manifest critters down just to try and stave off the bleeding here from this absolutely nutty board. If you had to show this to any draft player, like, yeah, what do you think of this board state? You'd be like, yeah, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Now, Trial of Agony clearing 2 things out of the way.
So this is 8 damage, plus then the Needlehead will deal 1 in Mingyang's turn. So now you can, of course, attack, gain some life back, but really, really up against it here as Simon has a final Vengeance, which he probably will just sack second main phase to deal with the other creature and leave Mingyang Chen pretty much done for here.
Yeah, jeez. Talk about a fast game 1 here between these 2 players, both at positive records thus far. But Simon Nielsen doing his best to make sure that only he's going to remain as such.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ding, ding, and we're going to go to game number 2 then. That was pretty much everything you wanted from that deck.
Yeah, that was impressive. The Sprinter doing great work there, being able to be brought back twice, sacrificed to the final Vengeance. I mean, that is kind of the dream, just how you draw it up.
We are going to now join Chen and Nielsen live as this game is going on pretty darn long indeed. We want to show you as much magic as we can from all of the players here this weekend. So let's take a look what we got here. We got a Disturbing Mirth. We've got an Irreverent Gremlin. Say that 10 times fast. Excellent card draw for Simon Nielsen in this Rakdos deck. On the other side of things, you know, Mingyang Chen looking to be putting down quite the beating. We've got the Inquisitive Glimmer, we've got the Escort, a Manifest Creature, and a Crab, which is, you know, just doing some blocking against these 2 power creatures. But Delirium, importantly, is up.
Definitely, and I do see 2 Sprinters in Simon's graveyard here, so if he can deal with any creatures, this could be really big game. But one thing with Final Vengeance, it does exile. I mean, you can, of course, sack one of your own creatures to then return it, but that interaction can come up.
I mean, I would love to see Simon just turn things sideways, honestly. You know, get rid of one of these blockers, then you can bring back both of these Sprinters. Maybe 3/3s.
Yeah.
6 that we have. Oh, well, we still have Delirium. Yeah, we still have a creature in the yard with the Ragged Playmate there.
Either way, the life-linking 4/4 attacker here from Mingyang is just going to spell some bad news from Simon, as even if you deal with that, Mingyang can just sacrifice the Crab, put the tools on something else, and start going to town. That you can really deal with this card pretty effectively when your opponent doesn't have a wide battlefield, but when you have 3/4 creatures, you're already ahead on life total, you're really fighting an uphill battle against this card.
Yeah. So Simon doing the math here, just making sure he's not dead on the crackback if he decides to do something like that. If we do sacrifice the Mirth, that'll give us a couple extra looks to the deck. Manifest Dread, another creature on board then will be available.
Yeah, another 2/2, not the best at combating what's going on here, but Mingyang with only Seize from Slumber here, you do have the possibility of fighting back, but going to be tricky.
Yeah. And also no instant speed sacrifice. You know, if there was to be an attack with the life linker, then a block and sack to prevent the life gain. So
yeah.
Final Vengeance, sorcery speed. We're going to sacrifice the Mirth, kill the Manifest, revealing not a creature.
Vanish from sight there, goes to exile. And now with that enchantment being exiled and the creature, or the enchantment being sacrificed and the creature being exiled, you can't bring back the Sprinters yet. So Simon will have to do a little bit more to be able to get that going here. Maybe not the most intuitive interaction.
Fear.
Deciding to discard here with the Gremlin. Okay.
3 and 5. Take 8 damage. You got a 7. 7. Go.
I wonder, maybe sacrificing the Fear of Lost Teeth would have gotten him the sprinters out.
Yeah, I think he drew that off the,
Oh, he did?
the
Right.
Gremlin, yeah, because I think he had 3 lands in hand plus the Vengeance. But yeah, even sacrificing the hand that feeds or whatever, you get to use up the rest of your mana and start playing those sprinters. But still, Mingyang Chen able to next turn sacrifice the crab, equip one of these creatures, attack for 4, go up to 11, just at surface value. It's even before we have this removal spell. It was just a really close game so far.
Yeah, a lot of things going in here for both players. So dissection tools, not attached to anything as yet. I think we might see Krabby go bye-bye here.
I would think so. I mean, depending on how many cards Simon has left in his library, I don't see a lot. You know, that is a large graveyard. Looks like Simon's going to do us a favor here and do us a count.
10 and 11?
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay, another Inquisitive Glimmer, so more discounts. Eerie Trigger off the crab.
And
I mean,
there
we
it
could well
goes.
see a mill out here if Simon doesn't die first to this.
Yeah, I think Mingyang
Onslaught.
definitely wants to win this game via combat, as this is a nice attack here.
4 more life. 5 more?
Yeah, 5 pumped up with the escort,
Yeah.
it looks like. So no matter what, Mingyang Chen is going to be up to 12.
Yeah.
And then this Seize to Slumber when Simon decides to attack or just firing it off right now on the Gremlin. You can play it now for the discounted rate. I think Simon's just trying to think, can I just win on the crackback in any way? If he had any way to sacrifice this in combat
Yeah,
to
that would
prevent
be
the
so
5
sweet.
life, it would be a huge advantage, but...
Alas.
And I didn't get a good look at what the manifest is, so that could be something tricky to boost this up.
He takes 7 here. He's trying to figure out, okay, can I hit you for 12 on the crackback?
Just takes it.
Okay. All right. Let's see what you got.
All right, big draw step.
Fear of
Oh!
Hunted.
Oh my!
Oh, that has to
Okay.
be blocked.
So you have that. That automatically gets blocked there. You have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage.
Turning things sideways. That's the best part of draft. And we also have to face gallery.
And then we have the gallery to pump everything up. 10,
Yeah.
11, 12, 13 damage. But the slumber
Jeez.
will be able to neutralize it.
My, my.
4. Yeah. Take 8, go 4. Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
impressive.
That was a close game, but yeah, that
Play both of my...
that removal spell from Chen just taking care of what would be lethal.
I mean, now you get to play both sprinters as blockers.
Yeah.
And now, Mingyang Chen doesn't have lethal on the crackback here.
Still has to attack though, for sure.
Yeah.
Just to gain that life.
For sure. But with a land off the top, I cannot believe, I think Simon might be able to pull this game out where when we came into this game, that did not look even close to possible with the 4/4 lifelinker cracking in.
Grief. So 5 life would go to 9 if we attack with the escort as well.
Yeah, attacking with the escort is reasonable.
Just to keep it indestructible.
Yeah, because then it does force the sprinters to go 1 block on each, but then only 1 sprinter will die. Mingyang Chen would go up to 9. And then you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage on the
Yeah.
crackback. So I don't
Still
think
too
there's a
much.
way out here for Mingyang Chen.
Just too many little idiots on the board here, and these
Yeah.
sprinters are putting in work. That pack 3 really, really saved Simon.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. Yeah, his deck after the first pack looked okay.
Pack 2 seemed like a bit of a train wreck, but then yeah.
Yeah.
4? Yeah.
Oh, double block. Okay. So,
Double
yeah.
blocks. So now if we can find any way to sacrifice a creature here to be able to bring back these sprinters, it'll be just over right away. But now the thing is, Simon only has to deal with the 2/4. You
Yeah.
don't have that wide battlefield to keep equipping these tools.
Turn things sideways, block the manifest, another room revealed. Ticket booth.
Yep, takes 5, and now you get to play both sprinters once again. And man, these sprinters just keep coming.
Yeah. They're running marathons here, not sprinters. Oh, Razor Kid Needlehead again. So any card drawn out from Chen is just punished extra here with the 1 damage being dealt.
Yeah, this was a really impressive game. Impressively played game by Simon here.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we expect nothing less from Simon than impressive, you know.
Exactly. Increasing his record, what it looks like, to 16-4 in drafts so far this season.
No biggie.
Just honestly impressive and unheard of numbers that we've seen across professional Magic.
Insane. Lionheart Glimmer, that is going to be it. Simon Nielsen, 2-0. Wow, that game was sweet.
That game was sweet. It just feels like a right at this point to just say, all right, Simon Nielsen 2-0 just to start the tournament. I don't even think we have to make him play in the first couple rounds anymore. Just start him 2-0 and then put him into the tournament.
I don't even think we have to be yours. It's like, yeah, Simon's 2-0.
Yeah.
Guys, great. That was super duper cool indeed. So congratulations to Simon, 2-0.
Yep.
One more to win the pod.
Impressive, playing for the trophy next round.
We're going to see that soon, my friends. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be right back. Welcome back to coverage of World Championship 30 here from Las Vegas, Nevada. MagicCon happening alongside the World Championship. 14,000-ish people here this weekend, Corey.
There's a lot of people out there.
So much Magic being
having
played.
so much fun. It looks awesome out
I
there.
want to go play with them, I'm just saying. But,
Fair.
We have a job to do, as do the 113 players in the room here this weekend. One of them needs to claim the title of World Champion. And we've just seen reigning Player of the Year, Simon Nielsen, continue his climb towards that, as that is basically the only thing he hasn't done yet, you know, barring Hall of Fame, I guess. So.
No kidding. It's he has a ridiculous career in just these last 2 years. You know, he's basically accomplished everything but winning this specific tournament. Just incredible stuff.
Well, let's turn our attention now to our reigning world champion, Jean-Emmanuel Depraz. He is certainly going to be looking to defend his title up against Matti Kuisma here. another excellent player over the last couple of years that we've seen making excellent runs at the various events. So we're going to jump in here where we are 1-0. So this is going to be game number 2 that we join these players.
Yeah, it was really awesome to see JED win Worlds last year. You know, he just had so many close results, so many close finishes, so many top 8s leading up to this moment.
Yeah.
To see him finally hoist that gigantic trophy was really special last year.
I
I'm
mean,
sure he'd like to do it again.
Oh, for sure. You know, like there's only been one back-to-back world champion. So Jean, I'm rooting for you, man. Come on, let's do it again, shall we?
So JED has a nice little Mardu deck here that has just bombs galore. There is Overlord of the Belmerg, there's Velgavoth, Terror Eater, Shroud Stomper, and Rite of the Moth to be able to bring these powerful cards back. This is really the Mardu Reanimator deck, which has just an insanely high ceiling, but the floor can be kind of bad if you just draw these really expensive monsters. You know, they're not doing anything too great if you can't do what the deck's trying to do. But if you can, and you can get a Velgavoth on the battlefield on turn 4 or something like that, it just looks incredible.
So just survive the first couple turns here. Matti Kuisma, on the other hand, has a Bant deck with a couple Signpost uncommons in here. We see an Oblivious Bookworm. Also picked up a Rip Spawn Hunter, which has been quite cool when it works. Survival's a little bit of a tricky mechanic to get going there, but yeah, plenty of removal too in his deck, so this should be a good fight.
Yeah, I think the best survival decks that I like to play at least are the blue-greens that splash for the good survival cards. Blue-green is always extremely powerful. Blue-green X, blue-green,
yeah, blue-green,
red,
whatever,
blue-green, white, whatever, for splashing for your bombs type thing.
It's make pretty good in this format for sure. Floodpit's Drowner hits the board here for Matti Kuisma and is able to keep the Popular Egotist tapped down for the time being.
Yeah, and looking at some cards here with Commune with the Evil, trying to ideally get one of your powerful reanimation spells into your hand and get one of your bomb creatures into the yard. That's kind of the ideal scenario with this card. This is one of the cards where if you just draft this card, you don't want to put it in every single deck, like a Golgari mid-range deck, something like that. You really want to be able to be doing the things. Put the cards you want to reanimate into your yard and put the stuff that reanimates them into your hand.
Yeah, Fear of Burning Alive. That's a
good one to reanimate.
That's a good one to reanimate, for sure. So
That's the thing I love about this set so much, is that that's a card that, you know, doesn't look that good in other archetypes, but is an absolute all-star in these black-white reanimate strategies. There's just so many cards like that that are fine in other decks and then just really hit home in the archetypes they're designed for. Just a home run set, in my opinion.
I've had a lot of fun with this set, too.
So much fun.
You know, the drafting experience has been varied and interesting, and you know, there's so much that you can do every single turn because there's just so many different ways to use your mana.
Yep, absolutely.
Wickerfolk Thresher hits the board here now from Matti Kuisma.
And he has a couple of those, so a nice 4-drop to kind of even out your curve. Still only the 2 types in yards so far, but 4 mana 5/4, this thing hits very hard.
Sure does. And you know, the Mardu deck not typically known for beefy creatures at 4 mana, so
yeah,
definitely looking to accelerate the pace, try and get a couple of these big creatures out of the yard and blocking this Wickerfolk.
Yeah, and the thing is, trying to reanimate this Fear of Burning Alive is fine right now. If you can get Delirium, then it's excellent. But outside, this is not exactly the target that JED wants to have right away for the reanimation spells.
Yeah.
If you can get Velgavoth, Terror Eater into play, you pretty much just win the game.
Yep.
That card is unbelievable.
Oops, I win. Yeah, no, unless you have like a sacrifice effect,
yeah,
you know, that can hit Velgavoth, you're in trouble.
Yeah, if you ever have to actually pay the ward and just deal with it and get 4 for 1, you know, it's never going to be too ideal here.
Oh boy, looks like we got a big old shark. Dagamar Megalodon hits the board here now. So another pretty big creature here with Vigilance. So I really like these land cyclers.
Yeah, they're all just perfectly fine. You know, none of them are just absolutely busted. There's not one of them that is better than the other, I would say. They're all just fine. You know, they make your deck about 50% of the time. You're never super sad to play them. Most of the time when I end up playing these cards, it just replaces my 17th land.
Sure.
Yeah.
The fixing in the set also pretty good. So you can do things like this. You can have a base green-white or green-blue deck, and then splash for whatever the uncommon is that you've picked up in the draft. So Sporogenic Infection enters the battlefield. See, this is the kind of thing that can get rid of a Velgavoth.
Yes, yes. Maybe JED was drafting all those just to make sure his Velgavoth would live. That would make sense to me. Gets a piggy bank down as well. If that were to die, maybe, Jean-Emmanuel is just getting very close to being able to cast one of these powerful creatures if he does have it in hand.
Plenty of mana to work with now. If Piggy does die, we get an extra treasure there to work with too. Life total's not changing all that much, but there's certainly an exchange of resources happening on the board.
Yeah, and for Kuisma, just land go here is not great. There's not a lot of instant speed things that he has in the deck. There's a Don't Make a Sound, a Glimmer Burst that is already cast, so that's got to lead me to believe that he is just flooding out a bit and doesn't have any good plays.
Let's see where JED goes from here. 3 mana something for what we got.
Okay, are we reanimating? Nope.
Tapping like an adult.
Okay.
Oh, yes. There we go.
All right, not even getting the Fear of Burning Alive.
Right of the Moth. Bringing back the Egotist. So there's a way to kill the piggy, as needs be, and also keep this creature alive. It's very sticky. If you have excellent creatures to sacrifice to the Egotist, you're going to have a hard time dealing with it.
Yeah, and just the fact that that ability down below is just a static ability. It's not just when you sacrifice a creature with the ability. You get that every single time you sacrifice something, ends up being really strong.
Yeah. And, just looking at the sacrifice effects in the deck, 2 Terramorphic Expanse.
There you go.
Which is awesome. We have a Soulblade Skin Ripper 2. The Egotist, one of them.
Yeah, decent amount of ways to do it. And then just, of course, if you get your opponent low enough, every 2 mana turns into a drain for 1.
Ding, ding.
You sacrifice creatures late game.
I do love me a good aristocrat stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Goes quite well with Cat Oven. Your favorite interaction there, huh?
Meow.
Yeah, Matti's just got to be flooded out here pretty bad. Not jamming anything.
Hate to see it.
Last turn.
Here's another land. Tap in all the things. Let's see, we got a big idiot here. Oh, well, well, well. That's not going to... The sacrifice effect is not going to help JED this time.
Yeah.
Duskmourn's Domination now has control of that there critter.
Yeah, definitely doesn't have any power or anything now, but just taking that away from Jean-Emmanuel is pretty ideal here. This card is definitely not what mind control effects used to be. They keep getting downgraded and downgraded because it's such a powerful effect.
Yeah.
This feels more like a just 6 mana terminate, a 6 mana deal with a creature style of effect.
Yeah.
That sometimes, if the creature's big enough, you can actually do some damage with it. But for the most part, it's just a good way to deal with a creature without having to deal with, death triggers kind of thing.
Hey, Corey, you want to play a game?
Yep.
Let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
Gonna go for the -1 ability on Let's Play a Game to get rid of that blocker. So now it's just a 0/3, right? Or is it a 1/4?
It is a 0/2.
It doesn't come back with a counter, yeah? Just the finality counter.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so it's a
jump blocker. Yep,
effectively.
exactly.
Goodbye to exile. The Egotist goes, and now Jean-Emmanuel sitting pretty here as Matti Kuisma is looking for something to do. Looks like he may have drawn.
And something noteworthy is he hasn't cast the reanimation spell from the graveyard.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. We will jump back into that matchup when we can, but as we left that matchup, it looked like JED was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and it was interesting that JED didn't want to reanimate Fear of Burning Alive or anything to kind of push his advantage there, so had something else to do, or just really wanted to wait to get Delirium with Fear of Burning Alive, or just have a target to be able to get some max value out of it. But I gotta say, JED's deck is really nice. It's a solid one.
It is indeed. So, friends, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll get you some more magic after this. Welcome back to coverage of World Championship 30 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We are in round number 2 of our Duskborn draft. We apologize for the break in transmission earlier. Turns out those irreverent gremlins were let loose, and we have since sent a gremlin tamer after them. So hopefully no more technical hiccups as we rejoin our matchup here between Jean-Emmanuel Depraz and Matti Kuisma.
We're building suspense, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monstrous emergence taking care of the piggy. We get a treasure, though, for the death thereof, our little bacon guy.
So now we will see a couple big things here from JED. We're going to see, number one, if we have Delirium now, we can bring back Fear of Burning Alive with the flashback from our reanimation spell, or just a Vegalovoth check here at any point. Vegalovoth check at any point here. So if you draw that, you are absolutely windmill slamming it.
Let's hope so, but it is going to be Fear of Burning Alive. Get rid of this Tunnel Surveyor, so it's just this itty-bitty 1/1 Glimmer hanging out here to try and keep Matti Kuisma alive, taking 4 from Fear of Burning Alive.
Yep. Phenomenal card. Absolutely great whenever you can get Delirium with this card. It's already just a great curve topper.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Just 6 mana, take 4
I
to
have died
finish
to
off.
that, yeah, many times.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm at 4. It's fine. Oh, I'm dead.
Maybe pair that up with a Jolly Balloon Man, and then we're really cooking. That's my favorite interaction here.
Icky. It's going to get exercised, so goodbye there. No more reanimating for you. You had a finality counter anyway, but now you're off the board, so that's cool. Innocuous Rat is available for JED, so perhaps we could see a Vegalovoth just, boop, pop out of a manifest creature. Who knows?
Yeah, and this is kind of the first spot of the game where JED has really been behind. Seems like Matti is now finally kind of drawing out of this flood. Has the Gremlin Tamer now, so any kind of enchantment coming into play is going to give you some extra value, and things looking a lot better here for Matti.
See, I told you we had the Gremlin Tamers on the job.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All good.
You can see in the future, I guess,
I can.
huh? All right, big turn for JED for sure.
Vegalovoth.
I think
He's not the one I have to worry about saying the name 3 times. So
Yeah, there you
please,
go.
nobody panic.
There you go.
Although, I did hear about an Altenac being cast.
I did, or put into play.
Tickle,
Yep,
yeah.
I did see
Say
that.
its name 3 times. Woohoo!
All right, Curse Recording being able to put into play.
I don't see this one being played too often.
Not too often at all, but it really can be incredibly powerful when built around. This is really a build-around card. You can't just put this into any red deck.
And you don't play it on turn 4, typically.
Yeah, and it
That's the
doesn't
guy.
look great right now, to be honest. We'll see what we can pair with it.
Meat Locker, Drowned Diner hits the board here. Draw 3 discards. So now Matti seems to be getting out of this pickle he's found himself in. So
Yeah,
hopefully a decent game.
huge
So we had
draw
here
step
still.
there. Huge draw step. Getting 2 gremlins, being able to discard one of the lands that you had in your hand while finding more gas. That was a huge pickup.
The rat is just going to be sitting and
Oh boy.
taking a bunch of damage. Vegalovoth. No, this is Demonic Council.
Yeah.
Into
okay.
Vegalovoth.
Yeah, being able to search up a demon here, you do get to copy it. Search library for any card, put it into your hand now that we get to,
I wonder what
that we
it will
have
be.
Delirium. Yeah, I mean, you get to get 2 great cards. That was a huge pickup.
Jeez.
I can't say I've seen this other rare interaction before when I've been testing for this. This looks really nice.
Vegalovoth whispered into Marina's ear until he was all she could hear. That's pretty spooky.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, I want to see what you get.
So gets to pick out 2 things here. Has Overlord of Belmerk as well as Vegalovoth. You can get Shroud Stomper as well. I mean, a ton of great picks here.
What you got? What you got? Let me see. Oh, it has to be Vegalovoth, right?
Yeah.
I know there's probably a smarter thing to do, but I just want to see a big dumb Terra eat to hit the board. Because, yeah, this card is nuts. You just get to cost things using your life total. I mean, yeah, a 9/9 flying lifelinker.
Yeah.
And you don't even care if you're going to get hit for 20 with the Cursed Recording.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. It does pick up the other incredible signpost uncommon here, the Saw Blade, Skin Ripper, throw the rat at some things, deal some damage, get a manifest. This was incredible as well.
Oh my, that's a visual.
I think that was Velgavoth that manifested.
Yeah?
That's a nice little surprise here if that was indeed what I saw.
Oh man. Matti, please don't scoop. I want to see this guy. Just once.
Yeah, JD is just like, please do not target this manifest. It's just a lonely tutu. Don't worry about it.
It's just a little guy.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong? And you know Matti's got to be thinking about that card.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Open deck list when it comes to these events, so it's definitely on the radar. But JD gets to untap if it indeed is the powerful Elder
That's just
Demon.
lights out. There's
Pretty
no.
much.
Yeah. Woo! There he is. Velgavoth Terra Eater flying in for 9. Yeah, I would read it too. There's a lot of words on this fella, but the most important being flying. No reach.
The thing is
Yeah, he
Matti
could
does
actually
have
sack, yeah.
Matti does have a lot of things to sacrifice here. So if there is still a removal spell, it's actually not the biggest deal.
Yeah, what could it be for Matti? Let's see, what's it got? Another one? We've seen Seas from Slumber, right?
Yep. Oh, now we have.
Oh!
So has the amount of permanence to sacrifice and is able to deal with the extremely powerful demon.
Hang on. Okay, there we go. So sack the little gremlins, sack the room. Those are like the one use only rooms. Velgavoth was here and left. He's got some other previous things to go and do, so he'll be back, hopefully.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be a lights out
Yeah.
attack there, so huge time for Matti to have a removal spell.
Manifest Dread. What do you think this card does, Corey?
You know what, Manifest Dread. Yeah, absolutely. Read the card, yeah.
Yeah. You don't actually even have to read the card to know what the card does.
There we go, there we go. Great design.
Alrighty, Velgavoth Lair enters, allowing the Stalk Researcher to attack, as it is an enchantment land.
What color?
Yeah, what color did you name there? Green or
What
blue?
color is blue? Blue, okay.
Blue? Cool.
Okay.
For those of you taking notes at home, please mark blue on Velgavoth's Lair.
So there is still two emerge from the cocoon to be able to bring back the powerful demon. We do have the Rite of the Moth already gone, but instead just has the Shroud Stomper here to be able to get that powerful stuff going. And this is the spot where JED's deck just really shines. You have enough mana, you know, you're at a pretty safe life total. You just have way more powerful creatures than your opponent here.
Man. Matti, though, you know, kudos to him. He's put up one hell of a fight.
Yeah.
And
Looks
yeah,
hell-bent now, though, so this is just what you got here.
little patchwork beastie ain't gonna cut it, unfortunately.
We'll see
And
what
also we can put mana into the mana rock there and make a, how big is it? 7/7?
Yep. And be able to attack with that if needed. And that looks like JED is going to choose to do that. Love the flavor of this card, by the way.
Wanted screen?
Yeah, it's so great.
Black or white?
Adds black and white for sure. You got to pay extra for colored TV, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you sure do. Well, what's one life? You know, it's all good. It doesn't
Huge
fly,
attack.
though, importantly. So
That's true.
this is still gonna hurt. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Matti Kuisma having no answer for just a bunch of powerhouses on Jean-Emmanuel's board.
Yeah, that was awesome. JD playing for the trophy with the black-white splash red Mardu deck. You know, this is not necessarily the best archetype in Duskmourn Limited. Reanimate strategies can be a little tricky, but that is definitely one of the nicer looking reanimate decks I have seen. So go JED.
Yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to seeing, if we can, possibly, just putting in a request, that deck one more time on camera in round number 3.
Looks
So
really good.
kudos to JED, reigning world champion, picking up another win. You know, we expect to see JED winning, and he's doing just that. But friends, we're going to take a very short break, and after this, we'll be back with Maria.
at standard showdown events, and then bring your perfected deck to your LGS and battle it out for the right to call yourself store champion, now through January 5th. Participants get a Chromatic Sphere promo card, top 8 players receive Reality Smasher, and the winner takes home Void Winnower while supplies last.